What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you are not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the internet. And you say, hey, well, why is that? You conceited asshole. It's not because of me. I promise. It's not because of me. It's because of you, the wonderful people who make this conversation, who make this channel what it is. And I thank you for being here. So wherever you may be in the world tonight, I hope that life is finding favor upon you. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. It is my honor, my privilege, and most of all, my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. And even though getting things right eventually will be on fucking time. Tonight we're going to talk about culture and dating. And it's because some interesting conversations have happened. And, a lot of some of these topics have. No, I'm going to be back on 9. I had a kind of a busy day. I was out there breaking all the stay-at-home rules, and all my shit kind of got pushed back a little bit. But I plan on from now on, going to 9 o'clock. I'm gonna have all my shit together. I'm gonna get up at a decent time tomorrow morning and lay everything out. But before we get all the way into that, let's see who we have joining us this evening, and I want to do that. And then let's have some great conversation, man. I have Coltrane, Eastside, Miss Bell, John, K Grace, M Grace, Dakota, D the Gamma, Ronald Isley, and Mr. YP. That's how we will address it. Mr. YP. For the early birds, I have Mr. Marquise Newhouse. What's the motherfucking deal? White Persuasion. What's the motherfucking deal? Beyond the Funny Nigga. What's the motherfucking deal? Oh, did I have the fucking sound? Oh, I'm a piece of shit. I heard it, but I didn't have the fucking sound. I appreciate the love. Damn, the motherfucking man in the building. Blender Master, what's the motherfucking deal? Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? Jen Smith, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Heidi. Oh, yes, cold as ice. Because yesterday there was some interesting conversations that take place. Sometimes, like I say, man, if y'all are not in the Den Discord after the shows, and I know somebody like, nobody's like. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes, but the Den Discords after the shows, it's always very good conversation. Because like it's that instant interaction, and there was just some conversations that was had, and then it got real late, and I got tired. His prepaid that came in late. He was dropping some real gems. Professor Trill was in there dropping some gems. Miss Grace was in there dropping some gems. D Love, I don't know what D Love be talking about half the time, but it's all good. But man, like I say, make sure you're following all the proper social medias. Ed Honcho HTX on the Twitters, on the Gram. Den Show Live, you can't see it. It's all good. Den Show Live on the Facebook. All the links are in the description below. Wow, just had a big ass baller. Who you beat up, Marie? Marie Lovely in the building. Discord it's terrible. Like I tap out quite often on the Discord. It's like, what the fuck? What time is it? I gotta go to bed. That's why I gotta go. Like that's why I have to have the Den on at 9. So then when you get on the Discord after that, like you can get a reasonable conversation in. When you get off at like midnight, and it's you up to like 3 in the morning on the fucking Discord, having various conversations and arguments. It's always interesting. Great conversations. Been great conversation from dating to religion to just political belief. It's all kind of interesting stuff going on the Discord. So make sure you join that. If you don't have the link to that, the link should be in the description below. Hope none of you guys got the Rona, man. So I'll be praying for you guys, making sure that everything is all good. But prayers don't work if you're out there acting like a fucking ass clown. So I can't help you with that. If any of you or any of your family members are out there, there it is, licking meat and coughing on fruit, you deserve all the bad stuff that happens to you. So there's that. Frankie in H-Town, what's the motherfucking deal? If you're not following Frankie in H-Town on the gram, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If you like to laugh, yes, pause, absolutely, Eastside Hero. But that's what people are out there doing. They all need to pause. You're doing your disservice. Very, very, very hilarious. Heidi's a vampire, so she's never going to get the Rona. Lockwood, what's the motherfucking deal? Marie Lovely, what's the motherfucking deal? Jason S, what's the motherfucking deal? D Love, we just got some stuff to talk about. It's all love, D Love. Just we don't agree on some things. And let me see. Yeah, Miss Grace be holding it down. And Marie Lovely, anybody else I may have missed? I apologize if I did. Wow, it's disgusting. If I skipped anybody, if I missed anybody, I'm not dissing anybody. So a couple of things. Like I say, the pistachios have been reset. They are down to settle. I got to adjust all of the little settings to make sure, that you guys can gamble and everything. And I'll be putting the early bird pistachio bonuses in as we get the stream going. A couple of things, like I said, if you play the games, you steal, you challenge, whatever, those are quick ways to build it up at the end of the month. Again, whoever has the most pistachios will get some exclusive Den Show love. And then, like I said, we'll be doing something for the top supporter just to show my appreciation because, you guys do so much for me, for this channel, for this community. I just want to let y'all know I appreciate it. And it's a couple of other folks who don't need to be named. I got some special things coming for y'all too. Just stay put. I'll be reaching out on that shortly. And don't nobody feel left out. It's just some of y'all did a very special thing for me, and I just want to show my gratitude. But dating culture. And the reason why, like I said, last night in the Discord, and sometimes the Discord influences the next day's topics, we got to talking about women. And we got to talking about, D-Love was expressing some opinions, and he had some thoughts on some of the things Mr. Harrell said. And some of us agreed with Mr. Harrell, some of us didn't agree with Mr. Harrell. And it had me thinking, because we talked about it, and what it was, in my opinion, was that this conversation was being looked at from two completely different perspectives. Same subject, but it was, two different angles. So, my thing is, it kind of made me think about it, because what it was the conversation was primarily about black women. And, as Mr. Harrell's called in, he says, he likes the snow bunnies and Latinos. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But he said from time to time, yeah, look, this is the den. If you say it, you got to own up to it. And so, this is not putting you on the spot. This is a discussion we had. The Discord is open to everybody, just like the den conversation is open to everybody. So we're going to have these conversations. This is recorded for the world of YouTube, right? And so, D-Love had a personal feeling about it. And so we had this discussion last night. Went on for quite a bit. And my perspective of this was that we're looking at the same thing, just Sarah, what's the motherfucking deal, but from two different angles, right? So, his perspective was, I'm not going to use the term that D-Love used. That would be putting you on the spot. But he had a particular term that he used in his description of black women, and he has love and appreciation, and he puts them on the pedestal. They are the queens of his world. Eastside Harold has had some experience, and he's like, hey, you know what? Been too much shit for me. I prefer something different, but I'm not fully discounting. Black women, but I just, maybe not want to deal with them as much, right? So, here's the thing. And again, like I said, two different perspectives, and that's what I think. I think they were looking at the same thing for two different perspectives. So I think your experience matters. I think that's a big thing. So I'm not saying anybody's right or anybody's wrong. Of course, my opinion is just my opinion. Y'all already know how I feel about a lot of it. But that had me thinking. So I'm like, well, how much does culture play into this? And y'all know I've had several different thoughts about black culture in America compared to like African culture. To say like, you could say like Nigerians or something, whatever coming in, and then you're talking about Hispanic culture. You can talk about the many variances of white culture, depending on we lump all the white folks in one category. But like say you got Italian, you have Polish. I don't even know what that is. We have Germans in here. We have different people in their backgrounds. Generally ties all the way back to the old country, or whatever country they're from, and a lot of those habits and things carry. And so I'm just wondering, like, how much does history, or how much does race, how much does, the way you were raised, even if you were here in America, like I say, looking at the two different angles of black people, you could say more well-to-do black people versus less fortunate black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about niggas. Let me warm up, man. Let me warm up beyond the funny nigga before I start laying niggas all on the table. But my thing is this, right? My thing is this. Eastside here, appreciate the love, man. My thing is this. It's like, how much do all these factors play into someone being
Eastside Harold donated $2 through Super Chat.
candidate?
Queens with their hair hat crown, you can have them.
And then that's the point that was being made too. Inadequate candidate for finding a solid relationship. We say love, or we can say a quality relationship, marriage, whatever you want to look at it. I know people look at all these things differently. How much of this plays into, and you say, well, even rich people, they can't stay together. Look at all these celebrities, of course. But then you have celebrities who come from maybe not the best upbringings. They've kept a lot of their habits, even though they've gotten fucking rich. They still have trash habits. They still have trash personalities. And they get with other trash people. They pop out some little rich trash kids, and the cycle continues. Just trash with money, right? So my thing is, like, where is the most significant impact on these relationships? And this is not to say that people from the hood can't find love, but generally people from the hood or people from the lower end of the economy relate to certain things, place value on certain things that people who may have more wealth might not place value on. It's not necessarily a debate night, but if we come across two people who have differing opinions on a specific topic, or somebody has an issue that they want to call out somebody on, if the other party is willing to entertain it, we're always up for it. But here's what's going to happen too. Like I said, as we hit the reset button. It's April 1st. Bots broken? No, ain't that a bitch. Let me see. It didn't give nobody the. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. What is the bot doing? Let me see what's happening. Bots is players too. Sometimes they fuck up. Oh, I see what's going on here. Give me 1 second. And so, like I said, we're gonna discuss all of it. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your personal feelings, and maybe your own personal background and how you fared in relationships. If you feel like your upbringing has impacted, the way that you were raised. Also, a very good point, and hopefully, Mr. Prepaid will be able to join us this evening. It'll be great because he said something very, very interesting. That if he doesn't join us tonight, I'm gonna save it. Maybe for. I've been saying day in all week, but if I get some adequate sleep and I don't fuck up my timing in the morning, we'll make this tomorrow's day in topic. But he said something real interesting, so hopefully he'll be able to join us and kind of expound on that. But aside from that, like I said, I want to know what cultural factors, what economic factors, does race, what things do you feel impact love? Sometimes I think it's more than just the individual. Sometimes, like I said, I feel like the way certain groups or certain aspects of society, or certain people in certain demographics have certain habits that are similar, I think that it prevents, the people from doing stuff. Give me 1 second. Let me, like I say, so now the pistachio count should be getting up. I'm gonna fix it to where most of the games or challenges and stuff don't cost anything to join. Like I say, it takes a few minutes to start doing that. So give me a second on that. But let's get this party started. Give me a second. Let me open up the line. Just Sarah, I appreciate the love. And like I say, again, if you donate, it should automatically add pistachios. Now, donations, like when I say donations.
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. Happy birthday Heidi and Eastside. Birthday cake, balloon, party popper, hand over mouth, smiley face, smiley face.
Yes, everybody's at zero. But I think when you do donations like via the Streamlabs, it automatically adds the 1,000 pistachios, like 1,000 pistachios per dollar. If you do it via Super Chat, I'll have to go back and do it manually. So I'll make sure that I keep track of all this. I'm going to be much more on top of my shit today, and this is not an April Fool's joke. I'm dead serious. I'm going to be on my shit. Excuse me. Because there's no reason why we can't have better streams in the den, even if YouTube doesn't want to send out notifications or tell anybody anything. Give me a second, like while I'm doing that. Let's pull up the line. Feeling good, feeling fine.
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. Honcho the main Sancho shirts on sale now, eyes. romantic face, sparkling heart.
I promise they are on the way. I absolutely promise. Like I said, I'm waiting on a package, and I will promise they will be getting debuted, and then they will be available. I mean, I guess I could just go ahead and make them available instead of doing the unnecessary waiting, right? I guess that would make sense. I'll put them up tomorrow. Appreciate the love, just Sarah. Pardon me, this fucking thing. Any of those abstract noise. No, everybody still has the hours. The hours, and so what I did instead of pistachios, I changed the rankings to by hours. So everybody still has their hours. And actually, the most pistachios, top 5 was 335, Miss Grace, Sweet Berry, Cultured, and Miss Bell, and in that order. Those are the top 5. So let me see. Now I'm sure some of them have been impacted by what's going on here. I see that some calls are coming through. I may have missed one, so let me do it like that. Actually, I may have missed 2 calls.
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. Dan the Civilian Man, sparkling heart, I'm glad you noticed, smiley face, princess.
Let's see what's happening here. For some reason, the fucking calls aren't showing up. Is this what we're doing today? And I hate this this little system. I'm going to log out and jump back in it. And also, like I said, I got to go in fix a couple of things. Like I said, for the Patreon supporters.
Grace donated $3. Trill, you ain't running me away.
Excuse me. Like I said, for all the Patreon support, I will be adding to the phone line priority, VIP access. Like I said, I'm going to be changing a whole bunch of things up, so y'all just give me some time as I get it all in order. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, well, it's my fucking stupid ass fault. Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, it's Eastside.
Already, Eastside. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, man? I had the fucking whole thing muted like a clown. What's on your mind there, Eastside, man? How you feeling this evening, sir?
Man, did I hear you correctly? Did old boy say he put black queens on the pedestal? Oh man, did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir. That is accurate.
Man, brother, that when I hear that kind of talk and that kind of rhetoric, man, that just at first I find it funny, but
Frankie
then I
_H Town donated $2 through Super Chat. Happy birthday, Heidi.
Like that, man.
Turn up.
Am I supposed to put the queen with 9 kids and welfare on a pedestal and treat her like she's a royalty come from a long bloodline of just pure and upstanding? I don't even know the words, man. You know, there are good black women out there. Don't get me wrong. They're rare gems. They're hard to find. They out there. Don't get me wrong. They out there. They are out there. But you have those on the other side that a lot of us come across. You come across these other ones that you know what I'm talking about. You know damn well. And you treat them. You go. They're gonna call you a pimp and they're not gonna give you that same royal. Put it like that.
You kind of going in and out just a little bit, like that last little part you were talking about the simp part, and it kind of started going out a little bit over there.
Yeah, they're gonna basically treat you like a simp, man. It's like them type of girls. I mean, It's a. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good, you good.
It's a rap lyric by Juicy J. Now I'm about to quote this. You the type of nigga to buy a whole rose. I'ma keep stuffing coke up her nose. And that kind of sums it up all together. You know, there are good upstanding black women out there, man. Don't get me wrong, don't think I'm just blind to the fact and I just shit on all black women. But those women, they hard, bro. They hard to find, bro. They hard, man. It's like you finding that winning lottery ticket. You got better odds of winning the fucking lottery.
Mm.
That's basically what the odds are, man. You might as well go get them scratch offs in the gas station, and you got as much chance as winning that shit right there. Then finding that queen. That royal queen with her hair hat that I'm supposed to put on a pedestal. Man, is you crazy? That queen, she did. I hear certain words, man. That shit just kind of boils my blood, man. Is that the same queen that's gonna call the laws on you? Is that the same queen that's gonna put them people on you?
Okay, my bad.
I don't know, man.
Okay, so D-Love, my bad. You say that you didn't say that, so I don't want to misquote anybody.
I hope not, bro. I don't want to put nobody.
Yeah, no, because put
that on nobody.
We had a conversation, and let's just be frank, because my thing is, we had a conversation. It was about some things that Eastside said. Eastside wasn't really there to represent himself. Okay, and so that was kind of the point that a couple of us were making, is that we felt like you didn't say all black women, because you also mentioned that. There are times that you go back, but then you still have had.
Yeah, I relapse. I fuck up.
Yeah. So that's what I said. I don't think that he feels like he's just saying that he's had bad experience, right? And so I don't. A lot of them. Yeah, and so that was my perspective. And again, because I wouldn't sit here and 100% condone, because y'all already know my thoughts. Y'all already know how I feel. To me, it wouldn't make sense for me to be defending each side and saying that I'm a person that is attracted to black women and this, that, and etc. And he's saying all of them are trash. So I don't think that. I honestly didn't believe, from what I've heard from the conversation that we had. I didn't feel like you were necessarily saying it like that.
Man, I don't know if you pay attention to YouTube, but man, it's like a group of black women, and they just mothers, man, and it's one particular one, man. The bitch got like 9 kids, man. And she got this like YouTube following. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not familiar.
But man, this bitch got a YouTube following. It's like, man, what am I supposed to learn from you? Oh, you're a strong black queen and all that. Bitch, you got 9 kids. Like, you didn't think it was enough after 5?
That's my thing, but
like,
now she got 9 kids, but what is the fatherly situation like?
They're not around as expected. Okay. As is not around. She had one last one that was supposed to wife her up, but that nigga kind of smartened up and nigga kind of moved around, man. Like, it's like shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you just needed a place to stay, but is that 9 kids and them kids you got to deal with plus her?
So, do you feel like a woman with multiple kids can find love? I mean, do you think that that's a cultural thing behind the reason that she's continuing to do what she's doing? Like, what do you think the the main factor is behind that continued behavior?
Bro, it go back to the whole. I don't hate to get political, but
kind of cutting out there. I can't quite hear you.
It goes back to the whole Democrat and how they introduced welfare to the black woman. It's like they gave him a choice. Like, man, you can leave your black man and here's some money and, you know what I'm saying, it was like beneficial. And this has just been, black people used to be a good, hard-working people, man, back in the 60s. It was a different breed. You know what I'm saying, 60s, 70s, Malcolm and Martin Luther King, man. And once they took the black man out the home, it feel like, you know, you'd have heard this speech before, but the shit was true. Yeah. Once they took the black man out the home and gave these women a choice, it's pretty much the black woman turning back on the black man. But then the black man became the bad man.
So do you think
you're no good?
With that mentality, do you think, like, say, let's say, for instance, with black people, most black folks, you know, and I'm not saying everybody doesn't have the man in the home. I'm not saying everybody thinks this way, but there is a significant number. I'm not going to say it's half. I'm not going to say it's more than half, but there is a significant number that has an impact on the culture. Do you think that this is why, you know, the it's hard for us to kind of come back together and reform the family?
Man, it's real hard, man, because it's like it's an underlying resentment on both sides, man. It's like a black woman would shit on a black man, shit on him, and make millions of dollars. Oprah, a Gayle, you know what I'm saying? It's a Wendy Williams. It's damn near beneficial. Black men are like the only group of people you can just fucking shit on and get away with it. Now you can talk about a black woman, but then that black woman goes like, "Where's your mama? Oh, well, who raised you? How are you doing this to us? We the only group of people that you do us like this. No other group of people talks about they women like this. Shit, don't no other group of women do the shit you do. You don't see a bunch of white people, a bunch of white women, a bunch of Latinas running into the hair store, stealing bundles of weave. You don't see that shit. It just be the most outlandish ass shit. But I'm just not gonna treat them like queens. Them type, the ones with a million tattoos, and bro, it's just like my mind won't let me. That don't compute with me. You know what I'm saying? It causes an error in my mind. It's like this don't compute. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That don't. Man, there are black queens out there, man, but they're rare. Everybody ain't no fucking queen. I might not be no fucking king to somebody. A king to you might be a different definition, you know what I'm saying? And a queen to me is something totally different, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna call the queen of welfare my royalty.
Okay, well, here's the deal, man, Mr. Eastside. Like I said, we got a 10-minute rule going, but I mean, I appreciate you calling in and kind of explaining, because, like I said, I think there was some misunderstanding that you meant that for all black women, and I was trying to say I didn't feel like that was the case, so I'm glad that you were able to, you know, call in and explain that a little bit. And I can't say that I fault you. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I disagree with what you're saying, you know, because when I say that I am attracted to only black women, it's a specific type of black woman that I have an attraction to. And I feel like also that there's a small percentage of those black women, you know, like I say, that fits my specific bill. And I think there are good black women that may not have some of the things. I am nitpicky, but as far as my specifics, you know, I think that's a small percentage. And then there's maybe a large percentage of good black women that don't necessarily fit those details, but as a whole, there are a lot, and the ones that get pushed to the forefront, you think of any of these rappers for the most part, or a lot of these women on these reality shows and things like that, to me that's a piss poor representation, but that is what a lot of black women emulate, and to me that's kind of bothersome. So, you know, I can't say that I disagree with you on that one, Mr. Eastside, but I appreciate you calling and getting the party started tonight, man.
All right.
All right, you're good. Shout out to Eastside, man. It's okay. That's what a way to start the day. So I want to know how y'all. So You know, very interesting. Um, oh man, Joe. Somebody sent me. Did I tell y'all about the video? I should have played it yesterday. Um, that Joe Exotic was complaining about not being able to say the N word. Did y'all see that video? And the funny thing about it is, it's not surprising at all that he would say something like that. I guess I should put the number on the stream. I'm talking about doing better streams and things like that. And so I fixed all the games and the little commands to where they should not take any pistachios from you. So everybody should have access. So even people like Mr. Eastside was just talking about, right? The more ghetto black women, and I think there's, look, I say niggas, I'm talking about everybody. I think every race has their niggas. I mean, come on, Tiger King, Joe Exotic is white people's niggas. I'll figure out niggas from Mexican people here in a second. But, my thing is, like, do these people deserve love? Or is it harder for them to find love? Do they do more extreme things? Or do they have more issues as far as, what's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What up, Honcho?
Hello, D-Love. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing all right, Honcho.
Okay. What's on your mind, Mr. D-Love? Does the call that Mr. Eastside just gave, does that change your thoughts in any form or fashion to the conversation that we were having last night?
Like I said, Honcho, I just got back from picking up my sister, so I missed the vast majority of the call.
Okay.
Right? So I don't really know what he...
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, D-Love. Next time you're gonna have to tell your sister to wait, okay? She have to wait till the calls are over. She'll still love you. But when the den is on, the den is no more fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you, man. Just like, the fuck, this nigga just... No, but nah, fucking with you. But basically, he said kind of what we were saying last night. He's saying that there are good black queens out there, but he doesn't feel like every woman is. He's not with the hair hats. He's not with the tattoos. He's not with all of that stuff. He's not with the welfare queens. And he has said he's not putting every black woman in that category, kind of what I was assuming that he was meaning last night. So with that being said, does that change your perspective of how you felt about what was being said or some of the previous calls that he had?
Yeah, but let me start off by saying this, Honcho, because you be tripping, man. You be tripping.
How did I trip?
I don't put anybody, like any woman, on a pedestal. Okay. And you never heard me.
I corrected that because I
thought
that's what you texted. And so when I said that I saw that you said you didn't say that, but then you slid out. So I corrected myself. So you might have missed the part where I
but listen.
corrected myself. Okay.
All right, so what about the part? You've never heard me use the term queen to describe a woman. No, Hunter, I don't think you've ever heard me or seen me texting. Hey, let me tell you something, Hunter.
You sure you didn't use it last night in the Discord? I gotta follow. I thought you used queen in the conversation last night. I might have misheard it. But
you can check the Discord. You can check the Discord. I said
you can't check the Discord because the stuff ain't recorded. It don't stay. I'm talking about in the actual verbal conversation, not necessarily the text, not necessarily the chat part.
Okay. But I'm just letting you know you never heard me say that.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Professor Trill,
I'm not just. We've been arguing with Professor Trill all day last night. I mean, Agnes is great, all right? She's a better witness, all right? But so we're talking about data and culture and stuff like that?
Yes.
All right, so I'll be trying to tell y'all, Huncho, I'm not a simp. Like, I'm not putting these people on a pedestal. Look, y'all think I have some tendencies because I don't subscribe to the ideology that all women are just terrible. I told y'all that I acknowledge that the bad women that y'all talking about exist. And you hear me say all the time, the hell with them. I'm not talking about them. When I talk about good women that exist, I'm talking about women like my sisters, my cousins, like people that I grew up with, that has always conducted themselves in a positive way. I mean, I'm not out here stepping at the women. Like, I understand that bad women exist. There are women that are leeches and, not my type to do this. Okay? But as far as culture, like I said, like I was telling Trill yesterday, I think most of this stuff is a cultural issue. Because, I mean, it's like, I believe people allow the media to dictate how they think and how they act and stuff like that. I mean, you can even use the music that is popularized nowadays. And I remember Trill telling me that um they promote that kind of music because that's how we act. And I told him no, it's vice versa. We, people act a certain way because of the music that's being promoted. Because music can it's a powerful tool to control the masses. I believe music is a huge cathartic and stuff like that. So as far as the cultural thing, I mean, look at what's being promoted in this culture, right? And I was thinking about this, Ancho, because we're talking about black women in a day and stuff like that, specifically black women. Um, I thought about the black women in different nations, like on continents in Africa. By the way, have you seen women in Rwanda? But that's besides the point, though.
I've seen Hotel Rwanda. It was a good movie.
That was pretty good. Yeah. But no, I thought about those kind of women, like how they have different cultures and stuff like that. And I mean, I remember I was right before I got out the military, I was taking Ubers and stuff like that, and I got a male driver who happened to be from Kenya. We worked the same job, but different units and stuff like that. So I never really known him before that point. And he was comparing the women in Kenya to the women in America, from his perspective. And some of the things he told me were interesting, and some of the things I disagree with. Like one of the points he made is that you can tell a woman in Kenya, if you married her, to shut up, and she will submit. She will not tell you that. And I had to stop him right there. All right. And I told him that I don't feel that I should be able to tell a woman to shut up and her not to say it back, because respect goes both ways in a relationship. Would you agree?
Now, you're saying that you don't feel like you should be able to tell a woman to shut up because you feel like that's a bad thing. You say, right?
I don't feel like I should be able to tell someone that I'm in a relationship with or married with to shut up, and her not to be able to say it back. But that's just one thing I disagree with, because I wouldn't be saying that to someone I claim I love anyway. But like I say, because y'all think I'm
Okay. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a scenario, right? I'm gonna give you a scenario.
Go ahead.
Say, and I'm thinking of this off the head, so it may be a little janky. So say you out with your old lady, you go somewhere, and a situation is taking place. Maybe out at the bar or go out to a club. So I don't know. And say a little incident happens, and y'all get into not necessarily an altercation with each other, but with someone else, and say it's another gentleman present, and you and him are kind of going at it, either trying to resolve the situation or maybe y'all about to fight or whatever, and your old lady is just really popping off, or maybe it wasn't that dramatic, and she's escalating the situation. Women get emotional. I mean, this is just a fact, and it is what it is. If you were trying to resolve it in a calm manner, would you be willing to tell her to shut up if she was being overly emotional?
In this situation, I never really thought about this situation, Honcho, because the situation he was talking about was different. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question. Mm-hmm. At this point, Honcho, I would have to do whatever I can to get her to. But is shut up like the only word that I have? I mean, if I got to tell her to shut up just to get her attention and stuff like that, then yeah. Because I didn't have it. Like, this situation did not come into mind when I was.
Just Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. Is it true that female pimp was a spelling bee champion? Or is it an urban legend? Thoughtful face. Eyes.
Let the Super Chat go. Shout out to Miss Just Sarah. I appreciate the love. I'm going to be honest with you, though. In that situation, it was kind of a trick question. Okay? Because
right.
If my old lady gets to a situation and there's an altercation with somebody else, well, I might have to beat the brakes off that nigga. I'm not going to calm her down to resolve a matter. If I feel like if it's to a point where she's gotten, because if you said you're going to choose a quality mate and all these things, I'm going to shut that nigga up before I'm going to shut my old lady up. And so it was kind of a trick question.
Well, you didn't really give me a lot to go off of. You just said I was going at it, but if I was going at it with dude, you didn't even say what started it, or how, what he said, or like how it started, or anything like that. So I'm just. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying. But as far as what me and him were talking about, like I'm telling you, he was comparing the women in Kenya to the women in America, basically saying that women in Kenya were more submissive, which I don't have a problem with. But the way he was saying it is basically like, as a male, you can be dominant, you can, tell your woman to shut up, within the house. I mean, not necessarily out like you were talking about. And I was just saying, look, respect goes both ways and stuff like that. But that's really what I was bringing up. So I don't remember what your topic was, or what the title of the video was. I know we were talking about dating and culture and stuff like that. Like I said, I thought about women and different, even black women and different cultures and stuff like that. But it doesn't really the black women in America, it doesn't. What do I want to say? It doesn't like, I'm not afraid to pursue a woman and an American woman just because of the stigma and the stereotypes like that. Okay, because I know what the media put out there. Okay, but like I told y'all, like the media and society, it doesn't tell me how to think. Because let me ask you this, Honcho. Would it benefit me if black women would think to themselves like, black man are nothing, black man ain't shit, and dogs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just go up and go. That's not gonna do me any good. So like I said, I just don't really get the developing a mindset that all black women are bad.
But I don't think. I don't think anybody said that. Like I said, you just have to. I think it's better to move with caution than to make an assumption that it's going to be more good than bad. I think that you should be cautious at first. You shouldn't go into something. Oh, everything's all good, and then have to discover the bad. I look for. Again, I try to approach it maybe more neutrally. You're hoping for something good, but also keep an open mind and say, hey, there's also the possibility of bad. Because what happens in most relationships is people get caught up, they get all hunky-dory, and they miss a lot of red flags that once you've gotten into a relationship, it becomes long-term. You're like, oh, well, why did I notice this? This is something they've been doing the whole time. Maybe when when the infatuation wears off, then you're kind of like, that wasn't what it was. So that's why I say that I think you should approach things with much more caution, before you get in too deep. And a lot of things are specific to your situation that, other people may not deal with. I ain't gonna go into all those details, but go ahead.
No, I'm gonna make this final point, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Okay. I think what you're talking about is the honeymoon phase that a lot of people get caught up in, right?
Yes.
I don't really. No, that's just like the beginning phase of the relationship, because I really think it takes a long time to really get to know somebody, right? And I don't really take as much time as I need, because I don't get caught up in the phases, the honeymoon phases and stuff like that. So I think that's what most people go in. But I mean, people. I don't know. Some people believe in love at first sight. I mean, if you hit the jackpot and find somebody right for you, then right? No problem to you.
Oh man.
But no, I mean. But that's what we're talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and get off.
All right. Well, if you're available later, like I said, I'd like to continue this conversation on the Discord, because there's some things, like I said, I jumped out a little bit early yesterday, but I think there's some other points to be made. But like I said, we're gonna take a couple more calls. But I appreciate you calling in, man, and just and sharing your thoughts on it, clarifying it.
Like I said, I'm not being messy. I'm not trying to start any mess with Eastside Railroad. I just wanted to get a better understanding, which I really wasn't able to do because I had to go. But no, I appreciate you for taking the call, and Eastside, but it ain't nothing against you, man. I'm not trying to start no beef.
Okay, that's all good. We're all friends in the den, sir. Okay. Shout out to Mr. D Love. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling into the den this evening.
Oh, Honcho. Mr. BT 1000 himself.
What's on your mind, Mr. Cole?
What in the fuck is he talking about? Oh, the hair hack queens. What, nigga, what? The fuck are you talking about, my G? Seriously. Because it's bitch-ass niggas like you, and yes, I called you a bitch-ass niggas. If you want to get on my call, Honcho standing by, plug him in, I don't give a fuck. Bitch-ass niggas like you that think that want to blame black women for everything. There's this guy in the den. I ain't gonna mention his name. He know who he is. He likes to quote this stat that 70% of all black women are single mothers. Cool. I like that stat. You know why I like that stat? Because it don't tell you how many black men are in jail do the dumbass shit from that fast money shit. How many black men run out on their fucking families because they chasing the white woman or they chasing that Latina you love. It's funny when a black woman get angry and fed up with your bullshit. Oh, she a crazy ass nut bitch. But when a Latina gets angry, oh, that shit sexy. Do it again. Oh, that shit sexy. I ain't never met a group of men that are willing to throw their old women away for all these other women. And then it's funny because Eddie Griffin said it best. Rich white woman and black man don't go together. Ask OJ, Kobe, Tiger Woods, it ain't no good. That's what Eddie Griffin said. And if you think about it, every black man that got rich, that was in the mud struggling with that black woman that was eating packs of noodles and hot dogs and shit like that, as soon as they got a little bit of change, they ran to a white woman who took them for everything they fucking got. Michael Jordan. Who else? It's a bunch of them. Fuck all that. But all that, insulting them. If you like Latinas, man, like what you like. Stop dragging black women down. I don't give a fuck if you ran into a couple BT 1000. What the fuck does that say about your character, nigga? If you keep fishing in the same dirty ass pond, you gonna catch the same dirty ass women. Point blank period, nigga. Broaden your horizon, broaden your perspective on women, and shut the fuck up and stop complaining. Black men like to blame black women for the problems that we go through when it was us. Y'all like to be head of the household until it's time to get real. Be head of the household with that woman. Tell her now you ain't getting on welfare, nigga. We finna figure this shit out. Do that. Be a man. Step the fuck up. Beat your chest in. Don't beat your chest when you sitting there with a Latino that you like, looking at these women that's tired and fed up and taking care of these kids by themselves. Or then you want to bring out, well, what about the women with multiple kids? Okay, they out there. Shoot, my baby mama one of them. But you don't hear me complaining because I made the choice to sleep with her. So y'all make the choice to lay down with these women knowing good and goddamn well they crazy. Because the person will show you who they are within 5 minutes of the fucking conversation if you sit down and listen. But you too busy focused on the pussy that you want to get in the bed with them. As soon as you get in the bed with them, bam, they show you their true colors. And you like, oh shit. And then what's fucked up, you stay with them. And then after they done ruined your fucking life, by your standards, now they all kind of BT 1000s and bitches. But how many times did you step out on that black woman? How many times did you raise your hand to that black woman? How many times did you disrespect that black woman? How many times did you call out her fucking name? You niggas kill me with that bullshit, man. Again, you like black women, you like Latinas, you like white women, cool. Ain't nobody knocking you for what you like. But what you will not do is drag black women's name through the mud because y'all can't handle it. Y'all some beta male ass niggas. I didn't put my baby mama, my ex-girlfriend, I didn't put them hoes through the ringer. And I can guarantee you, I can call either one of them and they'll come to war with me like no other. So don't ever get it twisted and say black women are all trash. No, they not. We as black men got to step up and be like, look, that ain't going down. If you can't get with the program, you need to move the fuck on. If you can't be a man and say that shit, then shut the fuck up with all that BT 1000 shit, disrespecting them and all kind of shit like that. And that's my call, Honcho. I'm out. Fuck that nigga, bro.
All right. Appreciate the call, Dakota. Okay, succinct and to the point. And I'm catching up on the pistachios here. Y'all give me a bit. Very interesting call so far. I think we've been targeting one specific demographic. I might have to fucking change the thumbnail. Okay. And again, like here's my thing. And I agree with Dakota in certain aspects of it, and certain points I don't. Because I don't think that's every woman's situation is that they dealt with a shitty dude. It's a lot of women out here who are, especially with this younger generation, who are already attacked, and it's because of how they were raised, and maybe they saw their mother's situation or whatever it is, the things that are prevalent in society now. We already know about, we can talk about SMV and all these other things, but at the same time, like, I'm a person that I feel like, both parties are equally accountable, because it's not like either of us at this point have much leverage over the other. But as a man, I do believe that, yeah, if you're going to accept the situation, you have to take control of that situation, and you accept everything that goes with it. But, I mean, you have a certain group of women who are different. I've spoken my piece on my thoughts on even a lot of these things multiple times because of my personal preference and what I've seen and common traits. And again, don't get mad, it's not everybody, but it's a significant enough number for it to stand out to me and say, okay, there must be a thing going on. There must be some type of correlation to these looks and behaviors. Let's be honest, it's a lot of black women, and again, if it don't apply, let it fly, who have taken on some manly traits. It's a lot. There's some black women who've taken on some very mannish traits. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Ooh, that Dakota. I love me my little Dakota. I do.
Evening, Ms. Grace?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Honcho?
I'm excellent.
Good. I'm glad Eastside Harold did call in to clarify, because that was the feeling that I was getting, is that when a black woman does something wrong, he can dog them out. Well, those Latina women and those white women can do wrong things also. What was passed down from my grandmother to my mother to me, that there's no group of people that's all good or all bad. You mean? And so he did clarify that today. You mean? But getting to the cultural thing, I was talking last night about, and I've said it in the past, a lot of these things that are going on is cultural. You know what I mean? And what he's dealt with are those ignorant hood booger ghetto rats. I don't care for them. I don't care for ignorant black men. I don't care for ignorant white men, anybody like that. You know what I mean? Anybody can be good or bad, so I'm not going to call out. I wish I could love a white man, but I'm not into white guys. But I can't dog them out and hate them all. You know, that's just not my preference, because everybody has the right to like what they like. You know what I mean? And then today, these girls today, I don't understand this ride or die stuff that they're talking about. Ride or die, what the hell does that mean? Do you ride or die for a man when he's doing well? You mean, and then when he falters, you're not a ride or die anymore? You know, because if you're any kind of a woman, remember I told you, we judge women by how well they take care of their loved ones, their family, how kind they are, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You want to be able, if anything happens to your man, you have to be the type of woman that can soldier up. And when you soldier up for your family, for your man, if something should happen to him, if he should die, if he should go to war, anything, you know what I mean? I'm sure that a man would like to know that his little lady, and you don't have to give up being feminine either to be a woman that soldiers up. I would think that he would like to know that if something happened to him, that he has a woman that will take care of that household, take care of that kids, take care of everything. She's not going to just fall apart. You understand what I'm saying, Honcho?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yeah, and like I said, you don't have to dismiss. And some of these women today in America, you know, they just want to act too ignorant, and they think that they're men. You mean, you're not a man. I'm not a man. But I'll tell you one thing, I am equal to a man. Good luck trying to convince a woman like me that I'm not your equal. I am equal. It means that you are just as important as me, and I am just as important as you. It's like making a root beer float. You're not getting a root beer float with just the root beer without the ice cream, and you're not getting it with the ice cream and not the soda. It won't float. You know what I mean? So one is as important as the other. You mean these men that go out and work and make all that money? He has nothing if he makes that money and he comes home and the kids are all running around with diaper rashes and bottles of milk that are all soured and thick, and when they're walking around, the feet are black like someone did oil changes in their living room. Yeah, and you know what I mean? You're not going to get a good woman if she's like that. Yeah, so that, and I can't believe, and somebody had asked the question also one time, and they said when a man marries a woman, what does he get? You mean he gets lots of things. You mean I don't like when a man feels like he's the one that's given everything, because he's not. You mean what a man gets when he gets married? He gets, check this out, Honcho, he gets a housekeeper, a babysitter, a seamstress, a personal chef, an accountant, especially a personal chef that can make homemade pasta and homemade ginger ale that I'll be making tomorrow. He has a private travel agent. He has an assistant who makes his doctor appointments and the kids' doctor appointments. He has his own personal interior decorator. He has a nurse. He has a gardener. He has a nutritionalist. He has all of that. He has someone that makes the dishes when they go to the barbecues and the cookouts. He has someone that when the kids are invited to a birthday party, that she goes out and she buys the card and signs his name on it and buys the gift and wraps it up. He doesn't have to do that. And not only does she do it for the birthday party, she also does it for graduations and weddings and anniversaries, everything. You mean he has a financial planner, especially if he has a woman that respects his hard work and the money that he brings home, if she's lucky enough to sit home, because a lot of the women do all of that, and then they go to work. You mean if he has a type of woman that respects his hard work and she understands the value of a dollar, that she can take that money, she can budget it just right and stretch the green off of a goddamn dollar bill and make that dead president scream, then he got himself a woman. And there's a lot of women, not a lot, but there are women out there like it, and that's what we were trying to tell, or I was trying to tell that to D-Love.
And here's my thing. And if you come across that woman that you just defined, you lock her up in a cage. Don't let anybody else find her, because she'll be off the market very soon. Put a ring on her, do whatever you have to do. But I think that's like women like that to me nowadays. I think maybe your generation more so, but the women like in this age group have been impacted by the music, the TV, and all this other stuff. And I'm a little bit middle to upper there. I don't think that exists. I think you're lucky if you get two of the traits that you listed. Because they don't, I don't think they believe in these things anymore. Especially, I've seen stories where people talk about women that they've dated that won't cook. They will just order out all the time. I think being a seamstress is just that's basically out the window. They'll take the money and manage the money, maybe not in the best way, but it's women out there who don't want to even deal with their own kids. Something else you said about nursing. As far as dealing, I've had women who have, and here's my thing. Let me. And I don't know if I'm special or what, but I've come across good women in my life. So I've had women who have encompassed a lot of these things. But like I say, so I'm kind of telling it, from a third party aspect. But I've seen people deal with, and again, maybe they just made bad decisions. Maybe there's not a lot of options out there, or whatever it may be. But I've seen in my presence a lot of women that don't agree with it. I've seen a lot of women say it, outright, that they don't want to do this. I've had female friends who are just like, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. And so they don't have that traditional vibe to them. But I think a lot of women still expect the traditional gender roles, but not necessarily want to keep that role. Like I said, but if you find a woman these days that's doing all the things that you said, Ms. Grace, I think that's it's like a rare Pokemon. You better catch it. You better do something with it. But it's just like, I don't think there is.
You all need to come over to Cabo Verde. Because I told you, we were brought up that way. Yeah. You mean a good woman takes care of it, handles everything, and she doesn't tire easily. Mm-hmm. You mean, and it's a cultural thing. You mean, we just have to do it. We don't not want to do it, and it's not hard. Remember I told you I don't understand how these women say, being at home is the hardest job in the world. Being a mother is the hardest job in the world. And then the next side of their mouth, they're saying, if you find something that you love, it won't be hard. You'll never have a job. Well, if you love it and you love your kids, it'll come so naturally, and it's not hard because you enjoy it. It's an investment. One of the other elder that I spoke to, she talked about, her wonderful daughter-in-law. That's the other thing. women, and I'm glad that you allow me to speak, because sometimes I feel funny, Honcho, because I'm older than all of these, practically I think everybody in the den. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? She was talking about her daughter-in-law, and she said she said, if I want a pair of purple pajamas, she will buy them for me. You got to take care of his mother also. You know what I mean? You have to get the right kind of women, and the men don't want to be traditional. Some of them, what I've seen, that they want these kind of women, but they don't want to be those kind of men.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And if you fall in love with somebody and somebody loves you back, you mean you understand that you can make a way out of no way. That oatmeal is better than no meal. You know what I mean? And that you have to make. I know how to make a mayonnaise sandwich taste good. You know, so these young girls need to get on it. You know, because listening to you guys in the den, I can see that there's a lot of good young men there. You know, so you girls better get it, because you good men are also a rare breed.
I agree.
You know, but I would not want. I just. But don't dog us all out. That's why I'm glad Eastside Harold did call and clarify that, because it made his other calls did to me. It felt like if we do something wrong, then we're bad. You know, but if a Latina or a white woman does something, you know what I mean, it's okay, because I've run into black men that talk that way, and that's bullshit. You know, and that's why, and maybe he didn't mean it that way, but that's how it came off. But people have the right to like who they like. You know, don't make any excuses for it. You mean I don't like dating white guys. I only dated one. But I'm not going to make any excuses because my people were slaves a long time ago. No, there is no reason. I'm just not physically attracted. That's all, because I'm not physically attracted to a light-skinned man, even though I'm a light-skinned woman. You know, I'm just not, and everybody has the right to be attracted to what they're attracted to and like what they like. But that's about it. And socioeconomics, you had said something in the right end about it doesn't have to do with socioeconomics. If it's a good woman, socioeconomics doesn't necessarily have to play into it, because you will know that if you have a partner, you can step and start building together.
Correct.
You know what I mean? If you really love somebody and they love you, you know what I mean? But you just appreciate one another. You know, that's about it. But I'm going to get off this phone so I can listen to these other people.
Okay, well, Miss Grace is.
Hey, John, because I know John loves us. Okay, then. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Miss Grace. And shout out to Miss Grace, because Miss Grace always brings a wonderful perspective. And, you know, and it's not about letting her, like everybody else, she has the same opportunity. So it's not about letting you have an opportunity. I love when Miss Grace calls in, because, like I say, she gives an old school perspective. And I think some of the younger people here don't get a chance to hear stuff like that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Dan, man.
Dan, the motherfucking man with the plan. What's on your mind this evening, Dan?
Oh, I got some good calls, man. Ooh.
Yeah, it's been an interesting night.
Absolutely. Well, first, shout out to, I believe it was Miss Grace who just called. I agree with the majority of what you said. And one of those women she was talking about that could rock like that and would support a man no matter what, one of them was my mother. Because she did everything. My dad was one of those guys who would go out and work 12, 14 hours at the shipyards, come home tired of shit, you know, save them a big piece of chicken and all that stuff. And you know how that goes. And, you know, I mean, they fell out eventually, but I remember seeing that growing up, and they were dysfunctional as hell, but, you know, they did the best for their kids as much as possible. You know, so I don't see that woman anymore for the most part. I'm sure they're out there like you were talking about, but I don't see that woman out there that much anymore. Everyone's on Facebook trying to get a bunch of follows and shit and all that other crap. And like you said, like out of those 6-7 traits you was talking about, maybe, John, shout out to John from New York. There may be only 2 of them. A lot of these females follow, and it's not all of them, but a lot of them will follow. Like, if they can cook, that'd be nice. Actually, I'm going to bring in some personal shit. That girl that I was dating when I was first joining the military, she had a lot of those traits. She actually reminded me of my mother. She was a white woman, but she reminded me of my mother. And I thought I had found the one. I was going to marry her. Well, we know how that shit ended. So, you know, some of them ain't loyal, bro. It is what it is, bro. So, you know. I think a lot of it is the social media and the music, and I can get a new nigga any day, or, you know, I don't need that, now, you know, or whatever. Cheat on your boyfriend with me, Ariana Grande can get it too, fuck her too. All this dumb shit. I mean, it is what it is, bro. And on the men, okay. So the gentleman that called a few times ago that was going in on that dude, was that Dakota?
Yes, that was Dakota. Yes.
Okay, look, shout out to Dakota. You made a good point. I don't think black men should be dogging on every black woman, but I think we need to face reality in terms of. Maybe you talk about me because I always bring up statistics. So I don't know, but you can't put everything on black women. You know, a lot of dudes out here are a bunch of in and out of jail, shiftless ass dudes. I'm gonna try to refrain from using the word Negroes because I usually go there.
Yeah.
But you know, some of them just full of shit. Ain't shit out here, just garbage ass dudes, man. And that I go on both of them. I go on the females and the dudes. So I don't know what you're talking about me, but in respect to his opinion, it is what it is. And I know you were talking about something earlier in terms of like if you need to tell someone to shut up. Now, me personally, I don't think a relationship should be to the point where one person has complete dominion over someone else. I think that's dysfunctional as hell. That's that old school biblical shit. You know how I feel about the Bible, so leave that alone. But I think like I literally just found a video. It was called "Out of Control Woman Gets Man Beat Up on the Subway." So basically, you got this female. She's like 6'4", 250. She a big one, and she's yelling at this construction worker who's like her size, like you a bitch. Now fuck you. And then her boyfriend, this little 5'7". Now I'm 5'7", so I'm short too. A little 5'7" dude. He's not breaking it up. He's not telling her to calm down. She's flipping out on this dude, and I think she started. I don't know, but this is what happened. So. She spits on him. This dude beats up her boyfriend. Yeah, look that video up. And
That's terrible.
Yeah, man.
She probably beats him when they're alone too. She's that big. She is probably.
She could have punched him. She could have done something. Shit's insane, bro. It is. Yeah, he's a female relationship. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean. Look, there's like in some relationships you might have one person might want to have more control over things, and the other person might want them to. There's some guys who just might work a job, and the female knows how to manage the household and the money and all that stuff, and they like that situation. And there's some where it's more, classical where the guy does that. I mean, it is as long as y'all are functional and not beating on each other and constantly cheating on each other. That's all I'm asking for in terms of a relationship.
Do you think that the old school way, like Miss Grace was mentioning, do you think that's kind of a long gone way of the past with all the convenience and stuff that we have now? Do you think that women like that are almost extinct?
I don't want to say extinct, but they're getting there. But a lot of these men. Well, actually, I can't. It's hard to say about the men because I saw a lot of guys in those relationships in the military where like he'd be on deployments with me. And come to find out, his wife done cleaned out the house, done got dicked down by Jody.
No.
All this other dumb shit. I've seen that so much, bro. It's insane. So I can't speak for like a lot of the women out there, but I've seen a lot of good men get fucked over. At least from my opinion. Maybe that dude was cheating on her. I've seen that too, where he plays it or she plays it like she's the victim or he's the victim. But he's got a dirty dick or she got a virulent vagina, whatever. And I try to make a little rhyme, whatever. Yeah, I'm talking about Jody. Yeah, yes, I'm talking about Jody. Yeah, yes. But I don't know, man. Look, I think everyone should go into relationships with a sense of hesitation in terms of like, look. I mean, I think love at first sight happens, but it's more like lust at first sight because you can't tell a person's personality by looking at him. You might can tell, oh, she got a fat ass, or oh, he got big arms, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. That's more lust. Like, damn, I want to have sex with this person, essentially. But after that, that's a different story. That's a way different story. And I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I said, man, the only woman I love right now is my niece, man. I want to be good for her,
Miss Grace said something at the end of the call, and I didn't get to expand it, but I'd like to know your thoughts about it. And she was talking about, people getting together and building. And you see it from time to time. But from your perspective, do you think the majority of women are either willing to build, or do you think they're looking for the prefab relationship, so everything's already ready to go by the time they get there and they just get to kind of benefit off the situation? Do you think those building type women are prevalent in today's society?
I think with the convenience of social media, being able to contact people, you know, and stuff like that, and just the more convenient lifestyle that we have, I think that, that's more the pre-made thing, you know. Yeah, I think so.
And I would agree with you. And I'm just kind of thinking about it, but at the same time, you know, can you blame when you got a lot of dudes nowadays? Again, it's not, you know, back in the day it used to be about having game and things like this, but now you got a lot of guys who just throw money at women, and part of that is the music too, because they talk about tricking. I'm gonna buy you a purse, and I'm gonna buy you a bag, and all that, and so people think this must be the method of you know, interaction. I'm gonna throw some money on you. We're gonna do this, that, and the third. And I think that's beneficial. You know, then you get left behind after the trip is over with, and they move on to the next one. But anyway, so I kind of got to blame the dudes too, because they're throwing money at them, and so women are believing that this is the way, and so they're just looking for it. They're treating it like a business transaction, and you know, like I say, it's almost become relationships almost become a form of another form of prostitution. That's what it's basically getting down to. Like I said, I don't think real relationships are as prevalent as they used to be, and that's kind of sad.
A lot of guys are getting that same thought process, like, you know. I agree. That's kind of where a lot of guys, that's the thought process is. And like I said, after my situation, I was negative for a while about dealing with women. But you know, it is what it is in that sense. It is what it is. Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any other just, you know, feelings on tonight's topics? Any other calls?
I was about to say something. I ain't trying to start no shit though, man. Let me fall back, bro. I don't start no shit, man. Okay. There's one of the other calls mentioning something. I honestly can't remember right now. It's all good. But yeah, I probably remember a minute hang up, but it's all good, man. Look, Danielle, have a good night, man. Hey, and it is what it is, man. Look, just go to any relationship with a sense of trepidation.
Yes.
You know, a sense of just look. And this is something I heard from someone a long time ago. You can't let someone else complete you. You have to be complete yourself before you get in a relationship. Because people like, you complete me. And I was on that stupid shit. I was on that mindset too. Oh, this girl completes me, all this other shit. I've said that before. That was the worst thing I could have possibly said. Because if that person leaves, then you're fucked up again.
Correct.
Don't put yourself in that situation where you have to lie on someone else to make you feel whole. You got to do it your goddamn self. And now it's easier saying that than doing it. I understand. Like me, I find comfort in my niece and nephews, make sure they're all right, stuff like that. My family, you know, because I was gone from so long due to the military and first time I went to college and everything. But I'm home now, so it's good to be back, and especially in this time. You know, times of Corona, you know. That's what I'm going to call it. But, yeah, you know, I got to make sure your family's all right if possible, you know. But, yeah, man, look, you have a good day, man. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say.
All right.
Now, I know I've said certain things about the black community. You know, I've had my, you could say controversial opinions about black Americans or African Americans, however you want to say it. But the reason why I say it is because I am black. And I see what the broken family has done to our community, the amount of men that are in prison. And I personally visited people I love in prison. That shit breaks your heart, man. Yeah, it's extremely painful. And I love you too, Grace. Thank you. I just saw Grace's message. Thank you, Miss Grace. And like, I can't put everything on a black woman. But I have met some very damaged people who, like, the man ain't there, and I understand that. But the way they treat these kids, because it look like their daddy, it's insane. Yeah, you ain't shit. Shut the fuck up. This is in public. Yeah. Telling you a kid like that. But a lot of these dudes out here, bro, like, look, if you're gonna have a baby with someone, then maybe it should be a thought process. Man, I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman, because that is the most important thing to bring a life into this world. You don't treat it like a paycheck. You don't treat it like it's a goddamn Pokemon trading card or something. Fuck that. This is a child. I'm being real. Yeah. Oh, and now I remember the main thing I wanted to say. Honcho, now, I have to apologize to you, because I think when I first called in a while ago, a few months ago, you mentioned something about single mothers and stuff like that. Look, I have dated a single mother before, but the thing is with this woman, she didn't let what I was doing affect the way she raised her kid. And a lot of these women ain't doing that. They're real quick to bring that kid around their father. Because I thought I might have offended you at one point, but, 'cause I know your relationship with a woman at the time. I don't know if you still are, but it is. It's your business. But I didn't mean to come at you wrong, so I apologize if I did offend you.
Absolutely not, because, see, I understand, and that's what I say, like, even I've mentioned several times that even in that situation, it was significant because it's not something I intended to do, but, after observation and after conversation and just kind of seeing, like I say, where her head was at, her mentality, the way she operated, I was like, okay, this is a little bit different than other situations I've seen or encountered in the way that they've tried to operate. And the way she carried herself, all those other things. So I said, that was it. So to me, I didn't look at that situation because I don't look, I generalize a lot of shit, but I don't look at everything. Every single 100% of single moms are trash. There's going to be some good women out there. I mean, it's just it is what it is. But the majority of the way a lot of women are carrying themselves, putting themselves out there, they make those look bad because it's usually the ones that are good. They're not putting themselves out there like that, so it's harder to find them, harder to see them. But the ones that are less than top notch, let's say, they're all over the place. So you're going to see them. They're more noticeable. They loud. They're the ones throwing the kids across the aisle in the grocery store and everything else. So, it's like, so you dismiss the fact that there are good women, there are good single moms out there because the bad ones make more noise. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So, no, I was not offended at all. Took no offense with it. I didn't even think about it. So, you don't have to worry about no apologies necessary.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Hey, look, y'all have a good night, man. And, the game is the game, man. Look, just wear a fucking condom, man. That's all I got to say, bro.
Stay strapped.
That's it, bro. All right, y'all be safe, man. Hey, wash them hands, bro.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. Man, appreciate the call, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right, you have a good evening. Already. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
It's Belle. It's about dang time, too.
Miss Belle.
I have been waiting since before the first caller, so let me tell you, that 10-minute rule went right out the window tonight.
Oh, most people have been under the 10, or maybe like
It's
10
all
and
good.
30 seconds. But I'm going to say
Hey, it's all good. I missed 2 nights. I got stuck I got stuck in non-chill. But I got hooked up with 2 programs, and so it was like, I just zoned for a couple of days, and I needed it. I am doing fantastic. I am really liking this topic. And one of the important things that I learned a lesson about is how you meet somebody is how you leave somebody. And what I mean by that is if you meet them, and generally, if they're hooked up with somebody else and you're taking them away from somebody else's situation that's not right to be yours, you'll end up leaving them out of your situation, or the relationship doesn't always work. Now, that's not every relationship, that's some relationship. And I won't define
Grace
this as the younger
$2.
generation, but
Just
I think
love and
some
be happy
people across
people.
all generations are freaking lazy when it comes to dating. Because they either want to hit it and quit it with no friends with benefits, or they want the long-term relationship and don't have clear communication.
I agree.
And there's something to be said for being a player or being having game or playing games. Now, you can be a player, but as long as you got game, you can still be a winner. If you're a player with no game, you're fucked.
Okay. Explain a little bit further about what you mean.
Okay. First of all, if you've got game and you're bringing quality to the table, whether it's skill or money on either side, you've got something to invest in either a relationship or just it is what it is. You've got some talk power. If you don't have anything and you're bringing it to the table, there's desperation and neediness, so you're taking away from the table rather than increasing the value of what 2 people are together. Now, this is where the young people really get themselves screwed because they want everything microwavable in an instant relationship. Good relationships take building a foundation in time, which is not anything that young people want to give anything. They want it done yesterday, but they don't want to put the time into it. And as being an older folk person, I have the right and the responsibility to say, slow your ass down if you want something of quality. If you want a little Kmart special, blue light special, go ahead, tip and dip and go. If you want something long term to maybe, take it the full mile of walking down the aisle, then take it slow. There are some people, meeting them 2 minutes into it, whether or not you're going to fuck them or not, or whether or not they're going to be in the friend zone for life. And people have turned off their common sense because we are subjecting ourselves and allowing ourselves to so much multimedia instead of trusting our own value to things. There's something my husband said once. He said, if you fall for something, how do you say it? He said, if you don't go in like a lamb, you'll always come out like a lion. And what that means is you have to stand your ground to begin with and set your boundaries in the beginning of any relationship. You can negotiate it later on. Because everything in every relationship, whether it's a hit it or quit it or a long-term relationship, is always negotiable. And what people seem to think is that in a relationship, that when a person gets divorced or they die, that you lose. You're not the only one that lost. Both partners lose. And it doesn't mean both partners gain when y'all get together because it's a balance. It's never 50-50. Okay? And I will say this, John, I love you, darling, but sometimes you're such an ass. And what I mean by that is I've been forced to be more feminist. However, I love being old-fashioned. And what I bring to the table is I enjoy a man opening the door for me. I enjoy a man holding a chair for me. I also enjoy making a meal for a man. I also enjoy going out and getting little things for the guy that I care about. Having him come home to a clean home, making sure that things work between us. And it really irritates me when my girlfriends are like, oh, well, just get your husband to babysit his kids. No, these are his children. Let him watch his children. Let him enjoy his children. Let it be a partnership. And what really does bother me, and I don't know whose culture this comes from, is demasculating man. When you demasculate a partner, whether they're male or female, it puts it in a power position in the relationship, and it doesn't put it in a nurturing relationship. Now, if you're there and this is just all what it is and there's nothing else, that's one thing, keep it in the bedroom. But that's really fucked up in a relationship outside in the real world because it becomes nothing but a power play. But the biggest take on this is that, in my opinion, in my experience, cultures are more alike than they are different on levels. It's more about individual connections and who each individual connection we are attracted to. I don't know who said it, but, one man's treasure is another man's trash. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. And not everything is for everybody. And that's probably one of my favorite things. But if you're going to step up to the plate, kind of know what you're going and doing before you step into it, because you're going to be playing games rather than having game. On that, mic drop.
Well, I have nothing to say to that, Miss Bell. But you do sound well. And so it is good to hear from you because a couple of different folks have asked, where's Miss Bell been the last couple of days? So it's good to know that you're well. And I like the mic drop. So the bell has rung. Class is definitely in session. So,
but what did you think about what I said? I really want your opinion on, because these are things that are something of my base value of who I am. And I'm transparent about that.
Well, here's my thing. Like I say, with game, because the way I perceive when we talk about game, and I say, somebody's got game, it's generally when we're talking about the term player, I'm usually looking at or thinking about or reminiscing about situations where it's about getting all the wins that you can accumulate with less regard for the other participants in the game, if you will, or in the situation. And so I'm thinking more of when I say player, I'm trying to smash as many women as I can. So I don't necessarily think player and relationship in the same breath. I guess you can. You can be a player, be in a relationship, but it's more likely you're a fucking cheater.
I disagree with that. If you're a player, then you're not monogamous.
No,
Because players tend to be fishing all the time. Even though they might pop it off the hook, they won't keep what's on the line.
Like I said, I've known some individuals. You have and that's where I think the term side chicks and side niggas has come from, because you have people who are out there, dibbing and dabbing, but they have a main person that they're with, or that they claim, or that they do things in public with, and then, that they will represent as, their girlfriend or boyfriend, but yet behind the scenes, they're still sampling the wares, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of beyond the funny nigga. Shh, be quiet, nigga. So my thing is just that that's when I think player, that's kind of how I think about it. But I agreed, especially with the thing about having the boundaries. And I think that anything you go into, that you should have boundaries up front, and then when you realize whether or not this person is worthwhile. And then you can, like you said, negotiate. I think that's when you have leeway, because then now the concessions that you're making are worth it for the person that you're willing to make them for, as opposed to just going into a situation and making concessions off the rip. You're going to get handled. You're going to get, like you mentioned, demasculated and things like that. That's going to happen off the rip, because then if you're a man and you're willing to succumb to everything that a woman wants, she's going to take advantage. She's not going to be happy, but she'll do it. She will definitely emasculate you, and just kind of have a way with it. In the meanwhile, she's going to be looking for a man a real man to stand in that place. And when you get thrown to the wayside, you're going to be wondering, well, what happened? I did everything she wanted. I did everything she asked, but you weren't being a leader. You were being a follower. So I think that's very important. But like I say, I don't have too much that I can dispute with what you said, other than the player. I just look at the player thing differently, as far as when you said bring it to the table and take it away from the table. And I just think players are out to take everything that they can take. That's just how I see it. Like, I don't think they're as concerned with what they're bringing to the table and having game. They're trying to use their game on any and everybody.
So you're saying having game and choosing the game is two different things?
Yeah, if you want to put it like that. Because I think you can. You can have game, and then I guess it's whether or not you choose to play the game. But I think if you have the game, most people are going to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I think that's where you have people who go out and continue to do the things they do. I think that's where you have people who may be in a relationship, and men, as they get older, or even women who get older, or they've been out of it for a long time, they want to just know, well, do I still have it? And they may entertain some maybe not so offensive advances, then it can turn into something else. But so I think that's kind of part of it too.
The other thing is this is something that I found as I've gotten older. I have some real hard deal breakers in relationships. Things that people would think were odd, but I don't want to help raise somebody with young children. My kids are 23 and 20. I mean, unless it's a situation of grandchildren, it wasn't a choice. That's one thing. If you started late, it's like, whoa, I'm not stepping into a mother role. And that's a hard one for me. I came in and became an immediate step parent before I had my own kids. Other people might be, have different rules. Hey, you might not want them to have children before you've met them. Everybody's got their hard boundaries, or what do you call them? Hard break. What's the word you just used? I am tired tonight. Hard lines that you won't cross, and that deal breakers. Yeah, and the reason those are so important is because I realized at a young age I've had some relationships that certain things happened, and if the person that I'm dating triggers that, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. And that's not that person. That's because I've already experienced it on a negative situation, and I don't want to go through it again. But a person needs to know what they can handle and not handle going into a relationship, and that's different than hit it and quit it. The only thing you have to do is make sure you triple coat it in the fact that, you know, there's protection all the way around. And don't catch feelings. Then everybody's golden. Because if not, catching feelings sucks.
Yeah. Catching feelings are, you know, it's not ideal if that's not the original intent of the situation. It definitely is.
Mhm. And I'll tell you, at my age and with all this shit going on, it's harder and harder to date because I'm finding it's almost, I hate to say this, you get in the low end of the fish pond, and that's really actually where the word catfish comes from. To be catfished is because they're bottom feeders. And I don't know if anybody even knows that, or most people. I don't know. I'm not making any assumption who knows what, but that's where the TV term comes from, catfish, is because they're bottom feeders. And it seems like a lot of these singles websites and things like that, it's like you're catching everybody who doesn't care about themselves and just throwing their behaviors out there and not looking for anything but getting their wick dipped or, you know, spreading it for whoever will give them a couple of dollars. And I'm not saying it's all like that. I promise you that. But the majority of it is just the back page of one of those old-fashioned magazines where you could do 24-hour call service. And I'm not going there anymore on that. But that's sort of... I just had a hard time with the two topics tonight because I didn't think that they really sort of went together, even though they do. Because human nature and culture are similar but different, and dating and having sex are two different issues altogether as well. So I was having a hard time blending it. If you want a relationship and you know you're in it for the long run, then expect to slow down and build something with that person. You know, any of you guys that have had long-term relationships, and even if you've never been married and you have good long-term relationships with family members and friends, you know that it takes time and you jump through hoops and trust gets broken and then it's rebuilt. It can take forever to build and a second to be broken.
Right. Absolutely.
But honestly, you kind of got to put your head on to know what you want before you go into something. And that's the thing. People are lazy about truly thinking about things before they do it because they're not thinking about complete consequences.
I agree. I think people are kind of in the moment. And yeah, they definitely don't think about the long-term effects, the second-order effects of the decisions that they make.
True. And tell Big M I'm making up for 2 days of not calling in so he can bite me.
Big M might bite you. He seems like a guy that's into that kind of thing. So, you know.
He's all good, though. I got no issue with him. I'm just giving him some shit that he's deserved, so... All right, I'm going to let you go so you can take a couple more calls, but it feels good to be back, and I missed you all very much.
You too, Miss Bell. Like I say, it's good to know that you're well. We were definitely wondering, you know, where you'd been the last couple of days, so it's good to know that everything's all good.
I just sunk my head into some Canadian series because it's kind of weird. These were like almost 99% white people, and I went, this is just weird. They were series out of Canada. But that can be another discussion, you know, Canadian television versus American television.
Canadian television is amazing. I love Canadian television. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good one. If you can get it, it's called Digstown.
Digstown?
And I don't know. Yeah, it's Digstown. And I don't know how to get it through the Canadian broadcasting system, but it's a good one. And I think that it would be worth watching. All right, I'm gone. Big M, you better call in or you're going to lose out.
Yeah, he's serious. He called me yesterday. He went full Mexican on me, so I'm scared. He might have cousins at my door right now. So. All
right, Honcho. Have a good night.
All right, good evening.
All right, bye-bye.
What? A Misty sighting. Interesting. All right. We'll probably get one to maybe two more calls in. Like I said, one of the last 10 minutes, we will definitely, like I say, start winding down. So the line is open for whomever would like to most likely be the last call of the evening. I see a few missed calls from some particular individuals. So it'd be this was sent to me, and I would like to know people's thoughts on this. I'm going to do a little mini honcho while the calls are coming in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have coming into the den this evening?
Oh, you already know.
Okay.
You already know, Honcho.
All right. Professor Trill, what are your thoughts on the topic? What are your thoughts on some of the calls that have taken place this evening?
Oh, the calls are very interesting tonight. There was nobody that was completely full of shit. Everybody generally has some good points, and then certain not so good points. Here's the deal, people. D-Love in particular. Talking to you right now, sir. What I need you to understand is that Miss Grace and Miss Bell are absolutely right in everything that they were saying. But what you have to understand, bruh, these are much older women. Have you realized you don't hear none of the young women talking up or whooping or none of that shit when any of that shit is said? Because that's not their situation. Not even in the least bit. So, Miss Grace and Miss Bell, I tip my cap to you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all real respectable women. That's not what's out there right now. Y'all job was to raise more respectable women and young men. So whether y'all did y'all job or not remains to be seen. But what y'all have to understand, especially at you guys' age, women have changed. Men have changed. Men are more feminine now. They're not the same kind of guys that y'all was fucking with. There's still some of them guys out there, but they becoming fewer and far in between. Men ain't even masculine no more. D-Love is scared to tell a bitch to shut the fuck up. What? Oh, well, I just don't feel like anybody should tell anybody to shut up. That's the problem right here, bro. Look. I'm not knocking you, D-Love, and I'm not trying to insult you, but everybody ain't made to lead, dog. You just not it. And it wasn't until you said that very thing I understood that
Sagama
point.
donated $5 through Super Chat.
No, you can be like, well, how would you get that from
Dating
that?
isn't
Trust
for
me.
everyone.
If a leader's going to have to make
FK
certain
love.
decisions, or he's going to have to learn to adapt to try to get somebody to function properly in the relationship that the team can be prosperous. That's the whole fucking point. You do what you got to do. And he did say that, but he was real reluctant to do that. Well, a leader knows you can't hesitate. You got to be on top of your shit. That's how you be a good leader. People want to follow you because if some instance come up, they don't know what to do. What they gonna do? Look at you, and you can't sit up there and be like, Then they're gonna be like, this nigga don't know what the fuck he doing. So, I think all you really need, D-Love, you just need some more experience, bro. You just get a little bit older, you'll adapt because you ain't gonna have no choice. You're gonna adapt. It's not gonna be fun for you though. I will warn you with that. It's not gonna be fun, dog. You're gonna go through some shit if you haven't went through some already. But the minute you actually start to put your heart out there, bro, people gonna see it and take advantage of you. So just be prepared. Dakota, I understand why you feel the way you feel, bro. I get it. You surrounded yourself with the exact type of women that Eastside was talking about. But you chose to stick with them. He chose to say, fuck that, I want better. You can't get mad at him for that. Like you said, you chose to lay down with that girl and have that baby with her. That's all on you, bruh. You can't get mad at that man for wanting better for himself. He don't want to lay down with them women. Oh, he may lay down with her, but he damn sure ain't try to be with him. He ain't knock that man for that. He ain't no pussy ass nigga for that. Look at it like this. If he don't want black women, well, that's more black women for you. So why is you so mad? Don't understand. Mr. What's his name? What's the military? Dan?
Dan, man, yes.
I fuck with Dan. I didn't cut for Dan much at first, but I fuck with Dan because he kind of straddled the fence pretty well. So I understand where he coming from. He done been exposed to a lot of shit. He done been through it, and you could tell by the way that he spoke about things that he has been through it emotionally. So he know not to put his heart out there because he's going to get fucking stomped on. He learned. He done been through what D-Love is going to go through. So you really need to listen to Dan, D-Love. Straight up. If you don't listen to me, because obviously you don't trust me, because we had a conversation about 4 hours long. I talked to you the whole fucking time. Miss Grace was in and out, and then you would rather rely on her for information about what went on in the call. Okay.
Man,
cool.
I'll pause on that real quick. And I know, like I said, because I jumped out because I ended up tapping out around a little after prepaid got in there. I know something good had to be said because anytime Broderick agrees with Trill on something, you know, worlds collide, the solar eclipse happens and all that stuff. Like it's few and far between, but it has to be something legit. So when I saw the little comments, I saw Broderick agreeing with Trill. What is going on in this motherfucker? Okay, all right, but carry on. So had to point to that.
Now, to be honest, it actually happened a few times last night. It happened a few times. There's certain things that we agreed to be true. There's one fundamental difference that he and I do have, and we did discuss that. We'll get to that at a later date. I think that would actually be a good den too, but I'll holler at you about that later. But basically, prepaid was just taking what I said and, you know, expanding upon what it was I said. I get it, folks. Y'all don't like the way I say shit. I get it, but I don't give a fuck. I'm going to continue to say it the fucking way I want to say it. I don't care really how you feel. The information is there. It's true. You can not want to believe it all you want to, but once it starts happening to you, I hope you see it coming. That's all I can tell you. You ain't got to listen. Life gonna teach you, one way or another.
Okay. And now you sent me a thing. It's on the screen. It's been on the screen, you know, as you called in. What are your thoughts on that statement that was made? For those who may not see us, those who may be listening, it says a man's test of loyalty is when he is successful. A woman's test of loyalty is when he is unsuccessful.
Those are facts. Who said it, so I apologize. But one person, it might have been Dakota, said when a black dude gets some money on black chicks and go get him a white girl. Yeah, that happens a lot. Now, I'm like this. If I could find a chick that fuck with me when I ain't have shit and now I do have shit, I'm gonna try to hold on to her with both fucking hands. Like that's just my opinion on how that works. Because if she was down then, she damn sure gonna be down now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, if I already got a bunch of shit and then the chick want to just move in, well, how I know she here for me or is she here for my, the word, Jesus Christ. He said it a bunch last night. Now I forgot it.
Possessions?
Yeah, but that's not the word. You know what I mean? Provisions, etc. You know what I mean? But, and on the flip side of that is what I was kind of going back and forth with Broderick on. Broderick has this thing the way he thinks that he has, Jesus Christ. My words are escaping me. I must be tired. That his wife has, unconditional love for him. And I'm like, don't nobody have unconditional love for nobody, bro. Nobody. I don't give a shit how much she say she love you or how much you say you love her. You don't have unconditional love for her either. Oh yeah, we do. You know, all this other stuff happened, and yeah, but there's everybody has a certain point to where they're not gonna tolerate certain things. Like Miss Grace said, like I'm only gonna be able to tolerate so much. And Miss Bell, like certain things are just out of bounds that I will not tolerate. I don't give a shit how long we've been together, how much I say I love you. That's out of bounds. That will break that. So there's no such thing as unconditional love for nobody.
And Yasmin, you say you refuse to build with no man. How has that worked out for you so far?
I have a question about that. You know, Miss Grace did mention that. Now, I understand what Miss Grace was saying, but I want to take it literally. What woman knows how to build anything? That's my question. Now, not all men know how to build anything either. I'm not saying that.
I mean,
and I hate that I have to keep qualifying my statements.
Well, you know, Heidi's pretty good with the Star Wars Lego set. I mean, I've seen her with one. So, I mean, I give her
stupid. So, like, I've seen a couple of those, home improvement shows where, you know, the woman, the husband and the wife, and they're both building, you know, refreshing the house and shit. Cool. That lady know how to use her hand and build shit. Mm-hmm. And all of them traits that Miss Grace named, those are great traits. They really are. But the problem with that, Miss Grace, is the feminist movement is going the complete opposite to those traits. They don't want anything to do with any of that. They don't give a damn about cooking, sewing, decorating, none of that shit. What they want to do is to get them a high-paid corporate job and be successful, to where they don't need to depend on a man for anything. And then once they get that, they figure once they establish themselves to where they're comfortable and where they want to be, then there's going to be a high-value man there waiting on them. Well, what they come to slowly understand, which we've been trying to explain this to them for the longest, you didn't use all your value up. Your value is your youth as a woman. Your youth and your beauty. If you don't have either one of them two, your sexual market value plummets. Especially after 30, which is quote unquote the wall. But they always seem to think, because what y'all do is y'all talk to other women. Oh, you're still beautiful, you're still all that, but how the fuck would she know? She's not the one trying to hit on you. Listen to the guys. We've been telling you for years. But y'all refuse to listen to us. You want to keep listening to these other women. Again, you a fish in the water trying to tell the fishermen to catch you. It's not how it works. Hey, I'm going to be in this pond at 3 o'clock over here under where the reeds at. Nah, bitch, that ain't my fishing spot. It's not how it works, lady.
Misty, you ain't saved me. I don't live in Alabama. But continue doing the Lord's work. I definitely salute all those who, the medical field, the people who are the doctors, the nurses, all the people on the front lines really dealing with this. So, you know, all jokes aside, you know, be careful out there. Make sure you got the proper PPE. You know, don't be out here. You know, don't cough on your phone as you're watching the stream. The shit may go digital, but we're glad to know you're all right, and you know, keep doing the good thing, keep doing the right thing. So salute to Miss Misty. Even though I think she's just been hanging out at home, she ain't really been fighting the Rona. She just wants credit for fighting the Rona.
Yeah, shout out to Misty. I heard a story today about a retired doctor who came out of retirement to help with the outbreak. Yeah. And, you know, he's well into his 70s. So he's very, very highly at risk. But he chose to do it anyway. So that's very honorable of him. Then I heard a story about a young woman who was working in the ER in New York somewhere, whatever, and she quit. Because she didn't sign up for this. Yes. She didn't want to put herself at risk, her family at risk, etc., etc., etc. And I get it, I understand. But where you're wrong at, you did sign up for that. And her problem was she was like, I don't feel like I should have to risk my life because other people did stupid things like go to the beach when they knew that an outbreak was going on. A virus was being spread around. Why should I have to risk myself for people doing stupid shit? My question was, well, would you say the same thing about a guy who decided to ride a motorcycle without a helmet? He fucked himself all up and he comes to the ER. You look at him and say, what happened? They say, well, he rode his bike without a helmet. You was like, no, I'm not going to help him because he did something stupid to get here. That's not the deal, man. When you sign up for a job like that, you need to understand the risks that come with it. So you mean to tell me you went through all that schooling and you didn't understand the parameters of the job in the first place? That's stupidity.
Yeah, there's some too that, because there are some people like I've seen in the nursing field, and they're nurses. What's the thing? Nurses in name only. A lot of them have desk jobs, and they're not really, dealing with patients like that on a day-to-day. They're more at the administrative aspects of it. But there's such a need for nurses that some of these nurses are having to actually deal with patients. They want to quit. They don't want to do. I've heard some similar stories, and it's just like, I mean, you're a nurse, period. Whether you're administrative, whether you're hands-on, whether you're on the floor or doing whatever it is that you're doing, your job is to be helping, save people's lives or assisting doctors in saving people's lives. And I think nurses really do a lot more. I won't say they do more than
absolutely,
doctors, but they're the front line. To me, they're the real front line.
Right.
And so, but I've seen a lot of people who just they once the things are no longer cushy, like you said, they want to jump ship, and it's just like, hey. Again, now the ones who were put in situations and they're not being provided with the adequate PPE.
That's an issue.
They're different, completely different. But the ones who have everything they need and they just are playing timid or whatever, that I cannot. I can't.
Out of fear, it's just the fear. Yeah. This is the part of being an adult. Mm-hmm. You're gonna no matter what it is you do, there's a risk. I drive every day. Driving is the most dangerous thing anybody does. I do it every day for damn near 11 hours a day. Every day. And I understand the risks that come with it. But I know that if I don't do it, I'm going to be broke. Correct. So what the fuck else, what option you got? I could do a different job, sure. But this is the one that's paying me the best.
I know. So, shout out to the truckers, keeping the local stores supplied. Everybody but Trill. Trill ain't doing nothing but delivering half 30% meat solution to McDonald's. As long as you eating that shit, he ain't giving us another supply. He hogging all the toilet paper. He hogging.
Now this is what's funny. This is what's really funny. Like, you picked the worst time to try to take that stance. I'm actually headed to Houston right now with the load. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be procuring some of these items that I'm delivering.
Okay, look, if you got some paper towels about my last 2 rolls, go ahead and just holler at me. I'll pull up, so for you make your delivery. Everything.
No, I got a bunch of containers and plastic silverware. That's what I got.
I can't do like this.
But you're gonna need this shit when people deliver. What you think they put your food in?
Well, that is true. I ain't thinking about that. But I ain't been fucking with delivery. I've been doing a lot more cooking on my own lately. Just.
That's good. I think that's even better. You could make that shit last longer, probably be a little bit healthier. And plus, it's good. Shit, everybody needs to learn how to cook. Everybody.
Like I said, I'm trying to come out on the other side of this thing with some better skills, a better person than when I went in. So I'm trying a few new dishes, trying a couple of different things, and it's been coming out pretty good for the most part. So that's how I am with it. Okay. All right.
And in closing, Mr. Dakota, from what I understand, what Eastside is saying is, he would have loved to find him a good black woman, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for him. And that's why he's so pissed off at him. He couldn't find a good one.
I mean, it can be work. Like I say, it can definitely be a challenge. So depending on what your parameters are,
preferences.
Yeah, preferences.
Shout out to New York John. That's my dude.
Just catching
Oh, I'm
some-
sorry. What do he call himself? Martin Luther John? Is that what he said?
Martin Luther John, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Luther John.
I'm just catching some of these tapes. Y'all gotta forgive me. Sometimes I forget to check the text while calls and stuff be going on, and it's always golden when I do. Okay. All right. Well, here's the deal. This was going to happen. I don't know if you're going to be available. Like I say, we're getting ready to wind down here, but we will be in the Discord immediately after. And there's usually a lot of good conversation, y'all, in the Discord. Get in there, hop in the voice chat. I mean, it's always, and usually doesn't have anything to do with the stream. It usually goes left somewhere, and then it just turns into something else. And I think people get helped in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least the conversation is thought provoking at the very least. So. Make sure y'all are in there. We'll be in there immediately after the stream is over with. But okay, Mr. Trey, anything else you want to add before we slide out of here, man?
Yeah, and everybody's perspective is welcome in the Discord except for Big M, because he's a fucking idiot. My name is Prepaid Michael, and I approve this message.
All right, that's the best. Shout out to Trio, babe. Okay, now we finna wind it down here. And yes, I deliberately did that, Big M, because I know you reside in the Discord, so you should be good and fired up. I expect to see you there. Big M used essay. That's the first time I've ever heard such a thing. So real quick, as we go get ready to wind it down, man, just shout out to everybody, and for everybody listening, Brandon is fine. 335 is fine. Heidi is trying to kill him. She sent him a tainted mask, but he's okay. So you got yelled at. What are you talking about? D the Gamma. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing, right? So like I said, we are going to wrap it up. And like I said, as we were working on certain changes and things of that nature, I think today was a great day, great topic. And I appreciate all the calls and the text messages. Shout out to D the Gamma, shout out to K Gray, shout out to Jess Sarah, Eastside, Dan Strong. Appreciate all the love. And Frank in H-Town. Make sure, let me say K Gray, Jess Sarah, Frank in H-Town. And make sure I'm in the Eastside. Okay. I appreciate all of y'all. Like I said, make sure you choose wisely with your pistachios because they're actually worth something now, right? So they used to be valueless. Now whoever has the most pistachios at the end of the month will have a special exclusive den prize. And like I said, man, I thank all of you. I appreciate all of you. If you ain't trying to donate, the link is in the description. And the link, literally, it goes to the dilly dally, So female pimp, you a special case. You hit me up. But anyway, it's that time, man. I appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all, man. Again, y'all make this the best conversation on the internet. The reason why, just listen to the calls we've had tonight. I'm gonna shoot for a day den. I'm gonna try to knock out at least the last week, maybe get some day dens in because I said I was gonna try to do that. I've been off timing with my schedule, so just look, you can you can hit my I got my OnlyFans. You can sign up for my OnlyFans. But with that being said, I'm trying to produce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I thank y'all. Y'all ain't got to go home. Y'all can come to the Discord and we can rock like that. So hopefully I'll see y'all there. We'll continue the conversation. Everybody's welcome to jump in the voice chat. Shout out to Culture, the Don of the Discord. And if you haven't been in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are really missing out on the integral part of the den. And even you don't have to, you can be in the voice chat and listen, you don't have to be a part of it. Just come rock with it. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We will be on time tomorrow. Were you here early, Sweetberry? Did I not? Let me see. Did I not give you your pistachios? You sure? I'll check my Palm Pilot. I thought I gave you your pistachio. Let me see. Sweetberry. Were you here early? Let me see. Somehow you got a decent amount. You better be in here attacking people. Let me check my notes. I'm gonna have to go back and check my record book. But I'm out. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Until mañana or until you hit the den. I'm gone. Thank y'all.